Hello guys and welcome to TFT World's final day, Grand Finals, game number 3. Enjoy.
Throughout the tournament.
What's a better way to balance out Cam Baron right now than Warwick himself?
Totally. So yes, let's just set the expectation. We have Warwick right now. So as you were saying, Cass, everyone is trying to go for that win streak. Everyone's trying to go, or at least take down as much units as possible, get those resources in, and then trying to go for that. So maybe high-level resources comps will be more prevalent. Maybe scraps, that is something we are not seeing maybe without the trade tracker of the additional emblem, could be a possibility. So this opens up not only the tempo game, but also some options of emissaries that requires additional resources.
The best options for this kind of encounter are clearly items. They give you the most power, and since Econ are usually a suboptimal choice on the Warwick because we want that power, and Econ will come off that power from the items. So no combat arguments, no Econ, just go full for that tempo line.
Unleash the Beast, Thorn-plated armor, high voltage, of course the category 5. These are the items that you might be looking for. In terms of the unit upgrades, I really like the Watchers early on, that the Dariuses and the Amumus are usually my favorite when I see these type of starts.
Speaking about the item empowering augments, we have Crown Guarded right now on the screen for Daisy. More normally, you look a bit for the stronger ones. It's on the weaker ones side right now, due to how the tanks scale with AP. There are no good tanks that accept Loris, like perhaps from the box. That would be a consideration with it. So maybe looking for some heroic, even grab back here or something like that.
100%. We saw it in the previous Warwick game. They were looking for item augments in the beginning. Normally, this is the most strengths that you can have to get that tempo and to ramp up into the late game. And then maybe later the items are less priority.
So we are going to see the Crown Guarded as that pickup. As we say, tempo is king, so that might be the option to try and keep that rolling for Salpimi, as we've got all of the augments populating on the left side. You know, another tempo augment that's worked out pretty well, especially when you can find an Ezreal, is going to be the Runaan's upgrade.
5 additional items across the board here, and one thing for Salpimi to mention is that the Academy items are the Crown Guarded, so good synergy.
Great point, but again, we see 2 players going for category 5, so that Academy line might be a bit contested given the items is exactly one frontline item and the Ezreal item, which is the Death Blade. So it could be a bloodbath on that Academy side.
Yeah, 100% agree. You have the perfect synergy with the category 5 plus the Death Blade. Normally the combo that we used to see so much in previous set, and right now maybe the only possibility of having it is exactly as you say, Alan, that Ezreal that pop up so amazingly, giving maybe a little multi-target, sometimes AoE, and obviously the best unit for the mid game to get that tempo that is needed.
I'm really excited to see what those 2 portable forges will offer the players here in Bio, as we have the Anima Visage being selected, and it looks like he's going to go for a second try on the Sorks.
While normally that is amazing opener, Anima Visage on the Amumu, but remember, this is a lobby with 2 players with category 5. They will just go past that Amumu, kill your back lane, and the Mummy will be left alone crying.
Yeah, and we're either seeing, you know, item augments or just other ways to find tempo built different. This is another option when you're trying to just play extremely high tempo. I even saw Worth the Wait picked up, and we found out it's a Darius for Daysix. So if you're going to ask for tempo on a Worth the Wait, Darius is a pretty reasonable one to find.
That's a pretty solid outcome indeed. However, we see on the Lucas finding the best possible artifact to play Smith reroll. Lucas might be looking into quite a strong top 4 if there is no defense.
You were saying that this is the Ken Baron balance encounter, so going early, he is going to give over a lot of gold to the other players. Ironbog with build different, this is one of his favorite augment because it accentuates that go level 8, play as many 4 costs as you possibly can sort of style.
Yeah, it's very important to recognize once again the portal we have Warwick. So anyone who is in 10 health right now, that's not only the health, that's additional items, that's additional resources, and the ones in the bottom could only get worse. So everyone wants to avoid that bottom placement and start wrapping up as soon as possible.
Really goes pretty crazy in the later phases of the game. You can drop things like components, 5-cost units to round out your board. So it definitely is a win streak encounter for sure.
That is very oddly looking Ezreal for me.
Yeah, it looks a little strange. I agree, Alan. I'm not sure what's going on with that one. maybe it's even walking forward and autoing in melee.
So this is something they actually played a lot in the JOC, and what we get from it is the additional ticks, I believe, do proc the automata from Runans.
I've seen him a few times. We were talking about the combo of Deathblade plus Runan, and I have seen that Nocturne with Deathblade Runan. Maybe not outperforming or going for a top one, but for sure, the line you're saying, good tempo, and obviously makes sense. It's good scenery.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the pair, so if you just see that opportunity and you can just play for a Nocturne 2 in the early stage of the game, pivot out whatever you want later on, that can be quite nice. So we've got our first carousel choices of the game.
I think that's a Zeri 2, possibly, for the one of the Category 5 players. I think that was Jedusor. No, that was actually Tristana pair. But if he finds himself into possibly finding that upgrade before the cracks, he might opt into some Tristana reroll with even of Category 5, which is a bit unusual.
It's a little unusual, but I could see it working, especially in the Warwick, right? Where you're just trying to be strong early. You find the early Tristana, it's already a snowballing comp. So now you get to snowball with not only the stacks, but also additional gold.
This is great for Jedu.
Oh, hello.
That's a weird thing to happen, though, because of the emissary interaction here.
I mean, we can pivot into the Zeri, possibly,
Yeah.
to just get the benefit of the Garen, or we can just play, like, just Garen for the Garen. Ignore
That's true.
Emissary, lose a bit of the Tristana value, but it's still a Garen. Focus it to stage 2.
100%. There was a comp, obviously low in popularity right now, that Tristana should be able to be played with Ennis in the words like Watcher Tristana comp. Now no one is playing that, but obviously now we're looking for tempo, and he doesn't have the possibility of going for the Watcher, so maybe just tempo for a while. He decides not to get it, so feels bad not to use this Garen, but makes sense with the scenarios he has right now.
This is a big decision point for Jedusor. He will be losing on gold intervals if he doesn't sell one side of his board.
We can see clearly that he's thinking about selling the right side of the board to make some econ. He could be making 20 here, but probably wants to stay open. Oh, never mind.
go.
There he goes.
Oh, he
Oh,
gets another forecast. Okay.
Wow. Got a note here, though. We've got 2 win streakers going into the PvE round, Ironbog and Lilo. On the other side, there were 2 loss streakers as well. We'll have to see exactly who that was. I think it was Lucas and one other. We'll see who can keep the streak. It's massive to be able to keep this big gold lead.
Ironbog has a great recognition. What are the strongest BD units? Plays double Smitch, plays Cassio, plays Zyra too. Very, very strong line. And BD, amazing, because give you so much tempo during stage 2, stage 3, capitalizing on that war we can counter.
Well, they don't face each other, so potential to have 2 streakers once again going into the PvE round. Looks like that double Smeech board is pretty incredibly strong, but going up against Jedu, he does have that Tristana with the Runon's Hurricane.
Ooh, 1 HP Loris cast there might have actually changed the tide, but
no. There
that
we
will
go.
be just a bit too much. A great TG removal from Ironbog, not sparing this removal, putting it on Smitch, actually benefiting him of going into 5 streak.
Yeah, so Ironbog now losing the win streak, and also Lilu in the end. I thought he was going to win, but no, takes out, so no one will have full tempo. Obviously, you want to be as strong as possible, but no one will be self-ahead.
Ironbog did keep that win streak, of course, right? But Lilu, of course, does lose it in the end. And we look at the bottom, Lucas loses his loss streak to Salpimi.
Oh, Deer Soap on the 4 win streak. Might lead into some strong 5 points.
I believe it was Dish Soap that actually broke Lilo's streak, going for the Visionaries once again on his board. Picked up a tier in the carousel and was able to take the win over Lilo, breaking his streak. Yep, with the Renata too. So very strong 2-trick opening.
Yeah, Renata, that normally we don't love her, and she has been shown that is still in the meta, is still prevalent, and especially here that what you need is only tempo. So we've seen Bishop already being so prevalent in this Visionary line. If he gets the Morgana 3 as a possibility, he goes for it, or simply go tempo full and play this Malzahar Heimerdinger comp that is so prevalent, especially if you get in a good spot.
We saw it was Tartaman who ended up with doing the 3-star Renata earlier on from 2-trick.
Absolutely, I want to ask you, Hupe, why are you hating Glask Industry so much that it is like Renata?
Man, you know why? The real reason, I love her so much when she was broken that that was my one trick. So now I cannot play.
You're bitter.
Yeah, I'm bitter.
I see.
100%.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, interesting thing here from Dysik. I love playing Strong Conquerors on the Warwick encounter. Everything fits together. These items are definitely not going to be Darius items, but he just wants to continue the win streak. And as we've seen, you know, sometimes if you hit the 65, you get a good forecast on your board that can pivot you very far forward.
Look at the Smeech items, 3 items Smeech already at stage 3, being able to pretty much kill a whole board, just leaving the Darius alive, and capitalizing pretty much on Warwick without having to win. Because again, Smeech is amazing at killing all those weak units, and while maintaining a loss streak, a great strategy from the Lucas.
Yeah, the Prowlers just doubles up on that as well, just giving so much damage. As you said earlier, it is the best in slot for Smeech out of those artifacts. As we do have Prismatics as our second augment choice. We'll see how much that can affect the people who are already winning if they can continue that tempo.
This opts is a calculated enhancement. If he chooses to go into that Visionary line, it's definitely a premium choice. On the other hand, he sees also Visionary Crown, passes on it. So will it be actually calculated enhancement?
It does look like it.
Probably is. I can't
Yeah, he locked it in. He locked it in.
Artillery's Pros 1 from Jedusor. We already saw that line performing, getting a little more damage into the Tristana and funneling the additional synergies to get as much as possible power.
Saw a double down from Lucas on just making this the most stacked Smeech possible, getting a Radiant Refractor, upgrading what I believe was going to be the Titan's Resolve. We'll see, the Bloodthirster was still a choice.
When you don't have Hodge, there is some resemblance to go for BT, but then you can just opt for Anomaly that provides you a bit more Omnivamp, where the Radiant Titan could be an option, but that's the problem. We are playing on Warwick, so you might actually look for a bit earlier approach.
Yep, ends up going for the Bloodthirster in the end, trying to get that power right now instead of finding power later.
I do want to point out Lucas actually just started on his Ken Baron streak, so this is a very, very late stage coming in from him.
I mean, sometimes you just look for that 100 cash out, a small Nico, Smeech. That is a lot of value. That's like 20 gold EV in terms of getting that final 2 Smeeches when you need it.
But you gotta get lucky. Sometimes it is.
I mean, if there is time to be lucky, isn't it just the finals of the Tactician Crown?
Absolutely. You're going to have to be good and lucky to end up being the one to win in the end. Lucas definitely open up both outs of being good and lucky here.
Salpimin finding the 4 Quick Striker here early and Besa for him. So still no Akali 2 and gets the Nocturne right now. So trying to look for as much tempo play here. Level 6, low goal. So he rolled and actually didn't hit much. Only that Ambessa is what's helping him, but he actually needs to find quickly the Akali. He didn't.
Yeah, he already has the Rebel 3 in place. To not have the Akali 2 is a huge miss for this roll down. But it might be enough still. The 4 Quick Striker in line is a massive boost on stage 3. Gets additional shielding. This Crown Guard Akali line we have seen a couple times, but you know, generally hasn't been the highest cap of boards.
It's a low roll in disguise because we are still hitting 2 best possible forecast on level 6, which is not very likely.
True.
And also those units, like look how expensive his bench, how expensive his board. He might not have rolled that deep. There was not much radius on the cracks.
Sagaran once again here. Twitch, no one going for that line.
Lucas might be going for Smith, chooses to go for that sweet glove, which ambushers love so much.
Taking stock of some of the other augments that were picked up, Jedu committing towards that Tristana, going for an Artillerist +1. We've seen 6 Artillerists really pop off in the past, and you can try and ensure it with Calling Card later on with the Anomaly, and we'll see if Jedu can actually find that.
I believe we've just seen on the Iron Box sponging, and with BD, that might be quite powerful combination. Again, BD loves the more items you have, the happier the board is. And it might actually pop off, unlike the BD throughout the whole tournament so far.
Your power is so spread out across your entire board. Almost all of your units are going to be 4 cost at the end, so you just want them to be fully stacked. Looks like a great composition for Ironbog.
Very early Echo for the Lucas while having pretty much beast items. He's not sitting on any dead component so far. Just missing 1 final item for Echo. Has a solid Smeech items. So just hit units and he looks like an amazing spot to win out the whole lobby.
Yeah. Not the normal spot we see for Ken Baron. Normally, they're more scared about losing. Obviously, in this tempo line with the Warwick, they just need to win. And here, ideally, perfect loss. So it's perfect for Lucas and just trying to get that 100 cash out that you were mentioning.
I mean, it's great that he's able to get this streak here, but I also like that Lucas is kind of slamming with Reckless Abandon. I don't think Lucas actually cares too much if he ends up losing some rounds, or winning some rounds, I mean, right? Like, I think it's completely okay. Yes, if he gets to loss streak like this on perfect losses, that's best case scenario, but either way, playing a little bit more tempo-oriented, making sure he's getting the kills.
We've just seen the worst possible cash out, which is obviously a safe shimmer. Wait for that at least one smidge, like bare minimum.
Yep. Now we're seeing there the Super Tristana triple Hurricane with it category 5. So much AoE damage here. So the possibility of ramping out, as you were saying, Alan, getting access to the backline. We're seeing there, hitting the Seri. Seri 1 with a defensive item there with the augments. So it should not be enough. So we're bypassing the tank here, Clement.
Good finds from Daystic here as he does hit one of those 4 costs in the same line that he wanted to go into anyway, which is the Twitch Flex line, one of the highest win-out options of the weekend. And, you know, whenever you have a Conqueror role like this, it's always quite nice. Get the extra gold, especially you're getting rewarded doubly by Warwick.
Daisy barely winning the fight. There was a Nami cast flying through, but just didn't resolve because Nami simply died.
Yeah, going up against Bio Daisy there. Bio already with 4 emissaries, only looking for the Ambessa, and he will have the Zork emissary that we know is so strong as a predominant line, so that will be the option here. Probably rolling on for 2 just to be sure, but with the additional resources that we know they already have, maybe for 1 makes more sense than trying to catch up on the units.
And Jedu being able to find this 1% Rumble on 7, pairs it up with the Sentinel, and you can start upgrading it right away. If it makes the board in the end, which there's really not much reason it can't, it's so strong to find it early.
Yeah, while looking at the Diso board, having already that blue buff, having Shojin has a setup for pretty much 2 carry items, getting the JG, getting Guardbreaker, so we have Beast Heimer items, while already having Heimer, and we're gonna have a roll down, sitting on 2 Heimers, Reni 2, Nunu 2, just getting 1 more Heimer, and we can go 9.
We go and look at Daysik here, see what else he can find. Just trying to get the front line together, at least 2.
That's huge.
That is big stocks, because everybody ends up looking for this unit at one time or another. So if you can get your 2-star early, that is massive.
We'll see if Daisy decides to go for the backline Elise, but there is no items so for now, so we'll just see a movement of the items from Darius to the Elise, and yeah, just play around the Twitch for now.
Double mana item here with the Redemption and the Protector's Vow, so that Elise will get the first cast as early as possible. First cast on the front line, trying to access now the back. Good damage from the Twitch, getting the scaling from the Rage Blade, and it should be enough here, but the scaling also from the Artilleries is not enough, so good win here for Daisy going up against Jeduso.
And we finally have one of these big win streaks broken here. Only Daystic here.
Twitch 2.
Oh.
Jedusor finds Elise as well from the teaming up, chooses to go 8, try to go for that Corki, perhaps angle for the 6 Artilleries with the calling card from the Anomaly later on.
We've got our 4-2 augments coming through. Support Anvil being picked up by Jedu.
Yeah.
That was, I believe, Daisy.
You're right, that was Daisy's support still.
The camera
I like the rounding here, having a 3-star, but obviously Moonstone is more like prevalent, and it could be easier to position in case that's the needed.
Really strong board, angling towards the Sentinel Academy Artillery line, finding the best unit to hold the Artillery's emblem, which is Jace. That will be quite a unit going forward.
Oh, Nami 3 here for Bio, getting that option already with the 4 emissaries on place. So pretty strong, trying to get the guarantee, no pair for him. So lacking important pairs here, but he has the damage.
Yeah, we have seen the Hodge and the Guardbreaker on the Nami, but remember, there is Piercing Lotus, enable that extra crit chance and applying to the ability spell crit.
We finally get a chance to see Lilo's board as well, going into the Category 5. It looks like there's another Artillerist Academy line on that end of the board. And I'm wondering for some of the other big macro rolldowns. Iron Bog, for his instance, 5 loss streak already. Still holding on to some gold, but there goes the big roll down. Can he find those 4-cost upgrades?
Looking there, see what he can get. He does have a Mordekaiser, and he was able to find a single copy of a In fact, actually, Mordekaiser pair is being held here by Iron Bog, which that feels like a pretty good built different unit, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to see that, maybe even the second Morde on this board over the double Iloi, but Twitch stonks are high on this lobby.
Taking stock overall of the HP, though, both of our players who needed top 4 were trending downwards, but have since started win streaks. So we'll have to see if Lucas and Dish Soap hold on to those on the back half as these loot orbs, or these loot drops from Warwick start to get even more scary.
So either some Twitch 1 on Twitch 2 action, but again, one of them is BD, which might be just good enough.
Yeah, ramping up the
So close. On. That's such a big fight, though, because it's so much HP. We're at the end of the line here. Ironball getting so low, just a few more fight losses, and he's out of here.
Any Mordekaisers? Doesn't look like it. That was the big find with the pair he was holding.
Is this a massacre for the Dish Soap there?
Yeah. Could be
Look
a
at him, he can't stand in a circle. He's already wiggling.
He's so excited.
He wants to get out.
Lilu.
Oh,
Lilu playing defense. In the end,
We've seen the bluff from Dish Soap that he doesn't want to go for it.
Yeah,
Try to, yeah.
But Lilu saw how excited he was in the pen. He knew that you're not that excited for like a Kog'Maw or something. Come on. He's wiggling.
I love to see it. Also, Ironblock playing a bit of defense, holding that smidge too for the BD board with TG. Lilu, that's a lot of Death Blades. With the Academy being a Death Blade, with the Sword Overflow, holy, that's a lot of them.
Yeah, imagine when he gets to 4 Academy. Man, that's gonna blow up a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. Oh, do I see a
Wait,
board?
he hit the 2.
Oh.
Where did that come from?
Oh, don't worry about it, buddy.
I won't. We're not gonna talk about it. But that is insane for this BD board. If he can actually get it up to the 3 items as well, it's gonna be huge. The sponging still, of course, helping to just make it at least a 2-item Mordekaiser to start out.
Absolutely, Sponging putting some work right now. And look at this Mordekaiser, and he's
It's gone.
He's gone.
It's dead immediately, actually. That is the unfortunate positioning there with the Akali being directly on the Mordekaiser to start out with that fight. And Salpimi, even though he's been struggling in this lobby down to 24, he does have this Akali online at this point.
Quick Striker +1 enables pretty much the 4 Sentinel, the full board on level 7, which is amazing. And then you have a final cap option with some sort of 6 cost, especially Warwick Quick Striker.
Now it's
Big
interesting
anomaly
because we'll see an anomaly probably on that Mordekaiser too.
That's
what makes more sense here.
Whoa!
Skip Eagle Eye, that's maybe an option
Yeah,
for the Mord.
exactly what I thought. The Eagle Eye was amazing pickup there.
Yeah, and then the other one I'm looking out for maybe is Jetasaur being able to pick up the calling card and actually get that 6th Artillerist online.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest highlight now of Anomalies, if he'll get that 6 Artillerist and get out of the Academy line.
Hive Mind selected for Ironbox, so go big or go home, something he hopes to scale more into, while Dish Soap looks very well on his way to securing that check already.
Did find the Fortified for the Renata, but it's only 2-item Renata. We don't know if that Fortified will even get to proc twice, so a bit on the lower end value.
Yeah, it was on 5 copies, so possible to hit the 3-star, but I know the unit is still contested in this lobby as well, so it's kind of hard to bank on that as you're going through the rest of the game.
Yeah, now we're looking at Jetasaur. He's pretty strong. The best now in HP. Share your energy. So now with the possibility also to ramping up the rest of the comp. Looking strong, playing the way he should. And now with a plan maybe of going Ilaoi 2 if possible. It's a little contested and then trying to reach level 9.
Yeah, I would say not being able to get the 6 Artillerist, but still share your energy being such a powerful anomaly, still probably worthwhile and makes this board quite good.
Yeah, sacrificing a bit of the Ziggs value on the Corki, but share your energy buff is just so much significant, and Corki is not a big fan of the attack speed anyway, so chooses to buff it with the share your energy instead. And we see that Ezreal is putting some overtime! My god. Hurricane Ezreal. Once again.
Just a ridiculous unit overall. Just a small note on why it's so good is that when Ezreal casts, both of his ability procs actually use the Hurricane. So with double Hurricane, you get 4 shots out every single cast. Usually units don't use Hurricane in their spell cast. Ezreal does.
Okay, Salpimi now finally Akali 3. 2 off the Twisted Fate. For some reason, obviously, also looking here for the Irelia in case he gets it. Additional front line here. And also not in a threshold here to sell it, but very important to get the Twisted Fate. Additional damage, 3 items
one off
on him. 1 off.
Looking for the or perhaps it was TF and unfortunately misses.
Looking as well, Lucas, 50 gold. It looks like he's starting to spend a little bit, 19 life. Trying to hold on. He needs that top 4 to make check, and we see all that gold starting to get sent.
One off.
One off Smeech. Still has plenty of gold to roll.
But did find the Rumble 2 on the 7. Hello?
Oh, la la.
Can he find this last Smeech?
Opted to put Radiant BT4 now on the Echo because it's a 2-star. But yeah, we have diving in on the Smith, which is just extra Omnivamp too. So splitting out those items properly to have diversity of the carries.
2 ults from the Rumble, but still not enough.
And the 3-star from Dish Soap. We were saying, hey, maybe that's not reliable to hit with only the 5 copies he had, but he did find it.
Okay,
Massive.
Dish Soap, I believe, just reforced Unleash Toxin into the best possible tank item in the comp.
Well, we
which
said
is built over armor.
we said you gotta be good and get lucky to win championships, and he's won one before. He's looking to do it again.
I mean, clearly he's dedicated here.
The dedication taking place, and now maintaining once again Lucas. 1 life, also Ironbot Clement here, both in dire positions. And now with the Smith tree, obviously more balance, and trying to get the additional cast there on the Rumble.
Not sure about this Hive Mind. Doesn't feel like he's going to get a lot of value, especially if it just falls off here. Only 25% damage amp.
Oh,
He's not getting
runs
through
into
that.
Dish. Are you getting through this, Rennie, ever?
Nope.
Yeah, probably not. We'll see, though. The damage is big, but it is struggling to do anything to the 3-stars. Having to kind of hope the Renata doesn't have enough gas in the tank, but really, it's all there. It's all Rennie, and it's all over for Ironbog in this game.
I mean, this is absolutely madness. He has 2 great combat arguments, Dish Soap, and hit everything, has beast items everywhere. I think Dish Soap is looking to win just another one.
Lucas taking the win, avoiding the loss here for the 7th place. Bio 32, also the Garen 2, so important in the front line he had with the Emissary. So once again, in a dire position, and Lilu is the one who falls down now to 12. Also, Saupimin, 3 players with 1 life.
Look at how low everyone is. As you said, 3 players, 1 life. Lucas needs 3 players to be eliminated to get to check, and he found the Smeech. So does this begin the road to recovery, begin the road to the checkmate format, to the top of the table? It's going to be tough. You're relying solely on this 3-star Smeech.
Can this Smeech actually dodge away from the Elise? It does! It actually dodges the stun, then goes back into the corner. This is Kung Fu Smeech.
Going to the backline, avoids the Twitch, but is able to clean up the rest. Elise is still holding up, but Smeech is Smeeching too much here and taking down Jidosor, who was pretty strong until now.
This was pretty atrocious matchup for the Twitch. And having a healing item on top of that on the Twitch does not help. And Lucas will be able to secure just another placement. He's only praying for 2 more.
Yeah, I mean, it almost doesn't matter unless he gets that top 4, because outside of that, in that next game, he basically just has to go like 8th or 7th, and he sneaks into check anyway. So really, it's kind of do or die getting this top 4. Make sure that Dish Soap isn't the only one on check, and you can try and vie for that 4-game win.
We have to check out Lilo's board here. He is the one that is holding the fort down for more games to continue. And if he falls here, then, you know, Dish Soap are going to be very happy. Finds a 3-star Ezreal and the 4 Academy. Massive buffs for his comp.
I think we've seen Lilu, out of any player, complete Ezreal free the most, on 8.
Interesting.
Nearly full stack comeback story on this Corki as well. Incredibly strong board, having these Death Blades online with the Academy.
The switch, full damage on the left.
Faces
Into Dish.
probably the strongest player, but again, there is some backlane access with the category 5s.
Yeah.
But the Renata with the shielding might just prevent all the damage.
Might not be enough, but can you get through the Rennie? It looks like this
Oh,
board kind of
my
dead.
God.
It does! That's
Tango
so much
down.
damage coming through, and it's enough. Lilo gonna stay alive, taking down
Ooh,
Dish
and
Soap
Lucas
as
is down.
Lucas falls. So one of our 2 players who could make it to check will not. And it may just lock up Dish's spot. However, it's not quite there because Jedu and Lilo both have relatively powerful boards, and they could potentially hold out long enough.
Jedu's board does look like it's falling off a
Dr.
little.
Mundo.
Mundo
three
3!
Oh! Hello?
And look at the Twitch, he's 2 off!
I mean...
Basic, where'd this come from? Well, nobody buys Mundo, so I
mean-
can see this one happening.
I mean, we've seen BD player wanting some Twitches, but it didn't come through. And also Mundo being held there.
Oh, and Lilu is the one who takes it, so this is so important.
Oh.
Dish
Lulu
Soap is
should
so
fall
happy.
down here
Okay,
against the
I
Mundo.
think Lulo can win.
You think Mundo's bad enough that this can happen?
I think yes.
Got
I believe
45.
it's real.
Access to
All
backline.
right. I mean, we'll see. It looks like the front
there's
line's
no
already
way,
gone,
right?
and Twitch is just burning down the back line. Mundo's HP bar has not moved, Alan. It has not moved the entire fight.
Don't disrespect the doctor like that. Come on.
That's exactly what he ordered.
That will lock Dish Soap in. He has now placed for check, and he just needs one more first place after this game. This one would not count in order to become the champion one more time.
We've seen previously on the previous Tactician Crowns where the championships could have ended after just and did end after just 4 games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now once against the chance, and we're looking about Gedo, so we're talking about the importance. Most of them also trying to get as close as possible to the 20-point threshold to make sure that in the next round, if Dish doesn't get the win, they're already checked and in place of also getting the crown.
If I'm Dish, I'm trying to grief Jedu as hard as possible. He's the closest in points to the top 2 right now. But maybe he doesn't even really need to. He's strong enough to just crush him.
The best way to grief him is just eliminate him right now with the strong board that you've got.
And he is going to fight him. That means even extra padding between these 2 players.
Remover on the Renata 3 to put the items on a Malzahar 1. Recognizing how the mighty have fallen here.
Yeah. It's so
I
sad.
mean, listen, the floating blue guy has no match.
He's pretty good.
Concentrating
see.
full damage. Now on the right for Dishop, trying to access a little of the backline, but it's not enough. Holding up the tanks on the other place for Jidusor. Now access to the backline.
Close.
Ezra is trying to hit. It's not enough.
Timer? Not
And
enough.
Jidusor takes it. Dishus alive. Bio obviously losing against the Dr. Mundo 3 from Daisy. And now we have a
And this will
small
get
cash.
taxed by the Daisy now. So Jedusor against Bio. This could be potentially 2 more points for Jedusor if he manages to take down Bio.
He got the Kaelin too. And Daisy, is that a Twitch 3?
Yeah, that's Twitch 3!
Twitch 3 for Daisy.
Oh
Dish is going to
my
get
God.
obliterated.
Oh, this is not gonna be a good loss for this Soap.
So he needs Bio to beat Jetto even harder, but at the end of the day, Dish Soap has made that check, so it doesn't matter that much. I do agree with Clement, though. He would want Jetto to place low.
We have Bio against Jedusor. This is such an important match now for the Jedusor. This is fight for 2 extra points, so his game 4 might be just a bit lighter.
Nearly fully stacked comeback story on this Nami, so the damage is there, but will the front line hold up against the Artillerist? The Garen is doing it for now.
Course,
One
he's
more
casting,
cap.
that will be
it
enough.
doesn't matter. The Artillerist, way too much damage. Bio goes down.
Dishop
Dishop
goes
goes down. Jettu is going to get skyrocketed to a top 2, setting himself up beautifully for the next game.
Showing emotion and celebration. Clement, you're saying he's actually the one closest also to dispute Dishop and now ensuring
I love
the
to see
second
the
place.
EMEA just high-fiving, just thumbs up to each other, good job sending them down. Nice, love to
You
see
want a
that.
high five? Give me a high five. Come on, man. Come on.
Let's go.
So this means a top 6 for Jedu puts him in check, and for Dasik, he also only needs a top 2 next game as well. We're looking at a pretty quick game, pretty quick day going into this. Can he win? Is there any chance?
He's free.
Okay. I think we just
He's
enjoy.
happy, drinking water now, taking it chill.
Okay, let's talk about it. That basic misplayed, wasting so much RNG on hitting both Twitch and Mundo. Is it just too much?
Yeah, you should have saved one for next game so that he can still top again, right?
Exactly. You cannot be just too full, you know? Or if you overeat, you're not gonna be feeling well
Gluttonous
afterwards.
with the RNG in this one.
Love
Just
the
a wealth of
expression. Love the
resources.
expression.